Hi, Jim Wagner here, your tactical and survival instructor. One of the problems in martial arts schools and even some police academies and military units is when they're training for knife survival, they're only thinking about conditioning the body. The problem with that is you're not conditioning the mind at the same time. If you're always using rubber or plastic training knives that look like knives, like blades, well, you're conditioning the mind to think that that's always going to happen. Whereas you got to think a step ahead and think any edged weapons. So one of the things I like to do is during Halloween in the United States, they sell these writing pens that look like a syringe. It clicks and there's ink in there, as you can see, and it's just a regular writing pen. But what I do is I empty out the red fluid in there. They make it look like blood. And then I take it apart and I take the actual pen out. But what's going to help me for a self-defense prop is I'm going to make it look into an actual syringe. So you undo the cap, you take out the pen part of it, but I screw it back once you empty the fluid. The next step is to take just a sheet of aluminum foil, tear off a little square, or you could cut it with scissors, around the same size you would for the length of a syringe. And then you just tightly fold it as tight as you can into a syringe type shape. And then once you fold it, you can squeeze it and then make it look very tight. And of course, you don't want it too thin because it's got to fit into your little end of your pen where you just took out. So then you take your syringe that you emptied out and you will stick it in there. And of course, nice and tight. And stick it in the end. And voila, you have a nice syringe here. Now, you certainly don't have to use one of these Halloween props. You can even get an actual medical syringe. Now, of course, a lot of people cannot buy an actual syringe. You can't buy the needle part, but you certainly can buy or get a hold of some of the empty syringes. And you take it out and voila, and you don't need the cap anymore. And of course, it's an actual syringe. But now when you take your aluminum foil, and now this one is slightly, the head of it has a hole that is smaller than my pen syringe. So I'm going to have to make it tighter and then stick in the syringe. Now, during training, and you have the bad guy, the hostile, and he's there aggressively holding his syringe, then yes, from a distance, it looks like a syringe. And if you get jabbed with this, obviously in a real life situation, I mean, who knows what he's injecting into you? It could be a HIV virus, E. coli, it could be even some sort of chemical in there, ammonia, and if it jabs in you, that is a deadly weapon. So I teach people, if someone's coming at you with a syringe, you can use deadly force on the use of force continuum, because even though this is not going to slash you wide open, but it will puncture you. And if there's nasty germs on here, a virus or a chemical, it could kill you. And of course, it makes a lot of people's eyes wide open when I set up scenarios and they don't know what's coming. And all of a sudden the guy has a syringe. Whoa, that adds a little bit different, because now they're thinking, wait a second, can I use deadly force? Can I not? Because with the knife, it's obvious. But throwing in something like this makes your training even that more realistic. So until the next lesson, be a hard target.
If you're going to evacuate someone under fire like a professional bodyguard does, be it a Tier 1 principal or possibly someone you love, then on day 18, you'll learn the correct way to do it. In Jim Wagner's book, Warrior Wisdom in 1 month, you'll learn a different tactical skill each day of the month, and it will take only minutes to read. Be a hard target. Order your copy now.